that initial surge of motivation, like when you sign up for a new course or maybe download an intriguing PDF or dive into a really fascinating article.
Yeah, totally.
Only to find that, I don't know, weeks or even months later, very little of that new knowledge has actually made it into your day-to-day life.
Oh, absolutely. If that sounds familiar, you're definitely not alone.
It seems so common.
It really is. It's actually a surprisingly pervasive challenge in professional development.
Yeah.
Our sources reveal something pretty startling. Over 70% of learning efforts, they just vanish, never applied.
70%. Wow.
Yeah. And it gets even more striking, honestly. When you look at online courses or certifications, maybe 10 to 15% of people who start them ever actually finish.
That's incredibly low.
It is. This isn't just common. It's like this massive, silent waste of potential, potential for growth, just evaporating.
That really paints a picture, doesn't it? I mean, imagine if athletes approached their training this way.
Right.
Showing up for the first week, all enthusiasm, and then just ghosting the rest.
Huh, yeah. Or like attending the sessions, but never actually applying what they learn out on the field.
You'd be concerned, right? You definitely wonder why all that potential never turned into actual performance.
For sure.
Yet this is exactly how so many people, maybe especially coaches, approach their own professional growth. It's kind of ironic.
It is. And the consequences, they're genuinely impactful.
Yeah.
When learning isn't implemented, we often see burnout kicking in. Imposter syndrome starts creeping up.
Oh, yeah.
And just plateauing results, you hit a wall. It's this cycle that actively prevents real professional development. And frankly, deep personal growth too.
Okay, so that sets up the problem. And our core idea for this deep dive, which we pulled straight from our source, offers this powerful counter. Knowledge without rhythm is just noise.
Ooh, I like that. Knowledge without rhythm is just noise.
Yeah. So we're going to unpack a simple but potentially incredibly powerful educational rhythm. It's designed not just for coaches, but really for anyone looking to bridge that gap between learning and actually doing.
Right. Moving from knowing to doing.
Exactly. This framework isn't just about applying knowledge. It's about fundamentally reshaping your relationship with learning, making sure every insight becomes like an active ingredient in your daily practice, not just another piece of forgotten info.
And what's truly foundational here, the core principle, is that growth doesn't come from just collecting content. We all collect content, right?
Endless bookmarks.
Exactly. It comes from implementing it. So the solution isn't necessarily more courses or reading more articles, but having a structured rhythm, a rhythm for learning and, this is crucial, for consistent application.
Okay, so this rhythm, how does it actually take shape? What does it look like? Our source suggests starting with the broadest perspective, quarterly deep dives.
Quarterly, okay.
So every 90 days, you intentionally deepen your knowledge. The intent here is to give your learning the same kind of focused structure you'd give anything you really want to master.
Right, like a project.
Exactly. It means committing to one specific theme or area of growth for a full 90-day cycle. Just one.
Okay, 90 days. Why that specific time frame? The source talks about it being a sweet spot for learning, which is interesting. What makes 90 days kind of ideal for digging deep?
Well, the idea is it's long enough to really absorb meaningful insights, build some real understanding, but it's also short enough to maintain that momentum and avoid feeling completely overwhelmed.
Okay. Not too long, not too short.
Precisely. It creates these effective mini cycles of growth throughout the year. So you can master the basics, then maybe test out the nuances, build confidence, one topic at a time.
That makes a lot of sense. It avoids the trying to boil the ocean problem.
Totally.
So could these specific focus areas look like? Can you give some concrete examples?
Yeah, absolutely. The source gives some great ones, things like communication, maybe speed development if you're a coach, culture building, mental skills, injury prevention, leadership, or even business development, if that's part of your professional role. The power is really in zoning in on just one thing per quarter.
And the cumulative benefit of doing that, of that singular focus,
Yeah.
it must be pretty significant over time.
Hugely significant, according to the source. In just 1 year, this structure lets you really deepen your knowledge in, say, 3 or 4 critical areas.
Without the burnout.
Without the burnout, without that information overload that happens when you try to learn everything all at once.
Yeah, I can see that. It's interesting, too, how the source connects this structured learning to the sort of natural rhythms of a coaching year.
Right. Or really any kind of project-based work.
Yeah.
For coaches, The framework suggests aligning your focus. Like during the off season, maybe prioritize personal growth or leadership.
Okay.
Preseason could be the time for team culture or communication drills. In season, maybe you lean into time management or athlete motivation
Right,
strategies.
things that are immediately relevant.
Exactly. And then postseason, you reflect and maybe explore areas like recovery, mental health, or athlete feedback systems.
So connecting this back to the big picture,
Mm-hmm.
this structure, it really gives your education purpose and relevance.
Mm-hmm.
It ensures you're not just consuming information passively, but actively developing as a professional. The cumulative growth over a year.
Mm.
Yeah, I can see how that would be genuinely transformational, not just incremental.
Okay, so we've got the quarterly deep dive, setting the big theme, the 90-day focus.
Got it.
Once that's set, the rhythm then zooms in, right?
Mm-hmm.
To a more frequent, actionable level. Monthly intentions.
Monthly intentions. Okay, breaking it down.
Yeah.
So,
The core idea here is that learning is only really powerful when it moves from theory, from your head into actual practice.
right, from noise to rhythm, like the title said.
Exactly. So every 30 days, you pause, you reflect, and you decide exactly how you'll implement something you've been learning within that 90-day theme. This is where growth starts to become, visible,
Wow.
tangible.
So think of each month as a kind of mini checkpoint
Perfect way to put it.
within that larger 90-day theme. You're definitely not trying to apply everything at once. That'd be overwhelming.
Yeah.
Instead, you're choosing one specific idea, one strategy, one small shift to put into play for that month.
Precisely. One thing.
Okay, so for listeners trying to picture this, can you walk us through some concrete examples? Like, what might these monthly intentions actually look like in practice?
Yeah, definitely. The sources give us some really practical scenarios. Let's say your 90-day focus is communication. Big topic, right?
That's huge.
So month one, your intention might be something like improve how I give feedback. Maybe you commit to the ask before you tell method, or you actively try to increase your praise to correction ratio. Just that one thing.
Okay, specific, measurable, kind of.
Exactly. Then month two, maybe you start incorporating weekly one-on-one check-ins with your athletes, or maybe short team debriefs after practice. Again, just adding that one new element.
Mm-hmm.
And by month three, perhaps your intention is to use more visual cues or more concise commands during really fast-paced drills. See how it builds.
Yeah, yeah. Small steps within the bigger theme.
Yeah.
Okay, what about another example? Say speed development.
Good one. So if speed development is your 90-day focus, month one's intention could be implement a new warm-up sequence, one that specifically reinforces sprint mechanics.
Okay, focused warm-up.
Month two, introduce just one speed-focused drill into every single practice session, just one.
Consistency.
Right. And then month three, maybe you decide to educate your athletes on the difference between acceleration and max velocity. Teach them the concept, and then actually start tracking their progress in those specific areas.
Got it. So these monthly intentions, they really keep your development focused and make it immediately impactful within that quarter's theme.
Exactly. And to make this stick, to make it a consistent ritual, the source recommends choosing a specific consistent day each month.
Like scheduling it.
Yeah, literally schedule it. Maybe it's the first Sunday of the month or the first or second, whatever works. Or maybe the day after your last big activity of the week. You set aside, say, 15 to 30 minutes, focus time.
Okay. And what do you do in that time?
You ask yourself 3 key questions. First, what have I learned this past month related to my theme that really stands out?
Mm-hmm. Filter the noise.
Right. Second, what is one thing I can try or change this month based on that learning? Just one.
The intention.
That's the intention. And third, how will I know if it's working? How will I measure it, even informally?
Ah, the accountability piece. Or, well, the feedback loop piece.
Exactly. And speaking of accountability, here's a great pro tip from the source. Write your intention down.
Simple, but effective.
Super effective. And even better, share it. Share it with a mentor, a colleague, maybe a trusted group. When you actually declare it to someone else,
You're way more likely to follow through.
way more likely. The simplicity of this monthly rhythm is really its strength. It doesn't need hours and hours, just clarity, consistency, and maybe a little bit of courage to try something new.
Clarity, consistency, courage. I like that.
Okay, so we've got the quarterly deep dive, setting the theme,
Yep, the big picture,
and the monthly intentions, making it actionable.
breaking it down.
So from those longer cycles and focused plans, the rhythm brings us down to the most frequent and maybe the most crucial element: consistent, weekly calibration.
Weekly. Okay, even shorter cycles.
Yeah. The idea here is that real growth isn't usually about one single massive aha moment.
Right, it's rarely like that.
It's about consistent, small adjustments, week after week after week. This weekly reflection is your chance to course correct, to realign and refocus based on what actually happened.
It makes sense. Without that kind of regular reflection, it's so easy to slip into autopilot, right?
Totally.
Just going through the motions. But with just a few intentional minutes each week, you can actually turn your experiences, the good and the bad, into wisdom, and turn your effort into tangible progress.
And the source outlines 3 essential weekly calibration questions. You ask yourself these at the end of each week, even if things felt like they went sideways, and especially if they went sideways, maybe.
What are those key weekly questions?
First, what worked this week? And think broadly, strategies, approaches you tried, interactions, maybe just your own energy or tone.
Yeah.
What felt good, what got results?
Okay, focus on the positive first.
Yeah. Then second, what didn't work? And the advice here is to be honest, but not harsh on yourself.
Right. Observation, not judgment.
Exactly. Did an implementation fall flat? Was there a disconnect somewhere? Were there moments you look back on and think, I'd approach that differently next time?
Okay, honest reflection.
And third, and this is key, what do I want to try next? This is where that reflection turns directly into action for the next week. What should I continue doing? What should I change based on what didn't work? Or is there something new I want to try for the very first time?
So it immediately feeds into the next cycle. Love that.
Yeah, it keeps it moving forward. And to build this into your routine, again, consistency is key. The source suggests dedicating maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Could be Friday afternoon before you check out, Saturday morning, Sunday evening, whenever works.
And the method doesn't matter as much, right? Like notebook, computer.
Doesn't matter at all. Physical notebook, digital doc, even a voice memo into your phone. Whatever makes it easy and consistent for you.
Okay.
And here's that pro tip again, slightly amplified. If you're part of a community, like a coaching group or a professional network,
Yeah.
share one insight from your weekly reflection. Just one small thing. The source argues that growth truly multiplies when you reflect out loud. It builds accountability, sure, but it also helps others learn from your experience.
That makes sense. Learning
That-
becomes communal.
Exactly. And it connects back to that core idea, doesn't it? I mean, coaches expect their athletes to constantly reflect, adjust, get better.
All the time. Film sessions, debriefs.
Right. We have to expect the exact same of ourselves. This simple weekly calibration, it isn't just like good practice. The source suggests it's fundamentally how great individuals are made. That constant refining, that commitment to moving forward.
Well put. Okay, so to kind of wrap this up, to recap, this deep dive, we've really unpacked the power of implementing this cyclical rhythm.
Yeah.
You've got the quarterly deep dives to focus your intentional learning on one theme.
Right. The big picture focus.
Then the monthly intentions to make sure that theory actually moves into practice, one step at a time.
The actionable commitment.
And finally, those weekly reflections for the consistent small adjustments that really drive improvement over time.
The course correction.
Exactly. It's this powerful, integrated way to turn all that knowledge we consume into impactful, sustained growth. Not just noise.
Yeah, turning noise into rhythm, knowledge into action, and maybe to leave you, our listener, with a final thought. Something to chew on, which draws from our source's concluding idea. The best coaches never stop learning, and the athletes you serve deserve your best.
Powerful.
Yeah. Now let's broaden that out beyond coaching, in whatever your field is, or even just in your personal development. What does deserving your best truly mean in your context?
That's a deep question.
It is. And how can a structured rhythm, something like the one we've discussed today, ensure you consistently deliver that best? How can it help you transform all that knowledge you gather into real wisdom and, most importantly, into meaningful action?